Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We have a legitimate podcast for you today. I have been playing the game for the first time ever. I'm very excited to be talking about Eternal and also a little bit of free build, which I haven't played, but you played some free build. Dope. Before we jump into everything,
I played a lot of free builds.
I saw some clips. I saw some photos. I mean, I can't wait to hear the stories. Before we jump into that, gotta thank all of our subscribers, all of our patrons. Thank you guys so much for helping us out. Things are starting to pop off at the website. We got the Eternal meta tier list that just went up. So now we have a standard meta tier list, Eternal meta tier list. We'll have stats for both, leaderboard for both. Man, I love Eternal a lot. I really hope that they keep the Eternal ladder past this month. I'm having so much fun with it. We have a bunch of tournaments coming up. Our own Mastering Runeterra $1,000 tournament is coming up on June the 3rd, which is not this Saturday, but the following
minimum
Saturday. Yes, $1,000 minimum often hits $2,000.
We haven't. Yeah, I was gonna say it's been 2,000 like every time I think.
Basically, or higher. Yeah. And then following that, on the 10th and the 17th, our Runeterra opens, Riot's official tournaments. We get 2 this month because they had some issues with the first one. Super excited for that also. This is a big month. Things are it feels like things are really starting to pop off. There's a bunch of stuff happening. There's tournaments almost every weekend. We've got 2 ladders. The free build thing is super cool. There's Path of Champions. There's something for everyone. It really reminds me of Arena and Magic Arena and all of the things that I wanted from it. Because I loaded up. There's just a million things going on. It's awesome. Something for everyone. And I've wanted that for Riot so long. We just had the ladder. It was so sad. And now it's man, we are almost there. Throw in a limited format, a competitive limited format, and my God, you have 5 or 6 different awesome things you can do at any given time. Oh, and then we'd even talk about gauntlets. This is we're getting there, man. We are getting there. I'm really excited. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's start with free build. Let's get out of the way. So this format's insane, right? It's 10 cards to 100 cards. Just do whatever you want. Any regions?
Yeah, all 10 regions, up to 20 champions. Now, if you have played card games at a competitive level, you understand that less card equal better. So you should be clocking in at about 10 to 12 cards for your deck. Because what you're trying to do is you're just trying to build the most disgusting combo you can and execute it as fast as possible every single time and consistently.
Yeah, give us some examples.
The tier 0
what is
deck.
It?
Okay, the tier 0 deck is Drizost's drop border combo deck. He made this a month ago when we first heard about free build. Basically, it's drop border, 1 copy of drop border, 3 copies of Mystic Vortex, the Targon landmark that puts 3 chimes in your deck, count down 2. Every time it counts down, it puts chimes in your deck, and then when it finishes, you draw a card. So you play 3 of those. You play a couple of the 1 I literally can never remember the card. Counterfeit copies.
Okay.
A couple counterfeit copies. You play 2 of the 0 mana predict.
Okay.
1 of the 1 mana imagine possibilities that advances all your landmarks 1.
Okay.
Right? And then usually 1 other card. I'm playing a Nopify right now to get around Passage Unearned. But basically what you do is you full mulligan for drop border. Because if you didn't know this, when you mulligan cards, you cannot draw the same cards.
Yeah.
You can draw additional copies of the card, but you can't draw the same card. We've gone over this a million times, and the community still fights about it. So your chance of hitting drop border in your first 8 cards is insane, right? So you full mulligan for the drop border. You find the drop border. Your plan is on turn 2, you play Mystic Vortex. On turn 3, you play Mystic Vortex. Now you can try to combo off here, but usually you just wait till turn 4. So on turn 4, your first Mystic Vortex pops. You draw a card. You have 1 card left in deck, right?
Okay.
You play the Imagine Possibilities to finish your second Mystic Vortex.
Okay.
To draw your last card in deck. All your chimes have hit
the drop order.
All like 18 chimes have hit the drop order because it's your only card in deck. You double counterfeit copies drop order, shuffling 8, 19, 21 drop orders in your deck.
Okay.
You cast both Feral Presence, putting
three,
6 of them onto the board, and then you open attack.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I was you know, I saw the deck, I saw the images of the deck. I understand exactly how it works. Just lost a bit of a G for coming up with this one. I gotta say.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
That's like pretty deep in the tank, and he had it like on day 1 too, which is pretty dope. Okay, so what are some other ones though? There's a bunch of crazy stuff. There's like deep ones.
Okay. So, oh yeah. I tried a lot of stuff. I'm gonna talk about this for like 10 minutes. So that's like the tier 0, right? Or it's the tier 1. It's the starting point. It's the standard, first level. If you're playing a normal deck, you just lose the drop orders, right? Like period, full stop. If you show up with a 40 card list, you're gonna lose the drop orders. So the other decks are looking to take advantage of drop orders. So there's like Sir Turman put out a list where it's just like 3 Teemo, 3 Puff Caps, 3 Caitlyn, 1 Elixir of Iron. And all you do is like flip Teemo immediately, get like 30 Puff Caps in their deck because they draw like the whole deck. And even if they don't, you play Caitlyn on the turn that they're trying to like go off. Right? So like if they're trying to go off on 4, you play Caitlyn. If they're trying to go off on 3, they're going to have to pass priority. And so you play Caitlyn, and then if they attack into your leveled Caitlyn, they just die.
That's awesome. Okay,
so there's that.
That's the counter to the
funny.
drop order deck.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah. My favorite deck, I think, is the actual best deck. This is Fansora's Turbo Mill deck because it can beat anything. I was milling out like 100 card decks. It's Turbo Mill. It's 1 copy of Insider's Knowledge. Both players draw 2, 3 mana, fast speed. 3 copies of Acorn.
Okay.
3 copies of Counterfeit Copies.
Okay.
2 copies of the 2 mana Ionia that gives you preparation. 1 mana focus speed.
Okay.
Makes something cost 1 less. I call it Lily Pichu. I don't know what it's actually called. And then let's see, that's 3, 6, 8, 9. 1 copy of Feral Presence, so you can find your Insider Knowledge. You full mulligan for Insider Knowledge. You make it cost 0 through things like Acorn and Lily Pichu. And then you counterfeit copies it, and then you just mill them out.
Oh, because it'll cost
it's
0,
super easy,
and you just keep drawing them, and
you just keep drawing them, and you have 8 copies in your deck, so you can cast like 4 of them without like drawing out. But what I'll often do is I will counterfeit copies it, and then I'll counterfeit copies it once. I'll draw all the copies. I'll counterfeit copies, and then counterfeit copies Insider Knowledge again, and just keep going. So like because of that, if you're playing against a real deck, some people show up with like 100 card decks, and you're like, oh my god, Turbo Mill can never beat that. But what you do is you just get Insider Knowledge and a counterfeit copies to both cost 0, and you just infinite them. Like you just never stop counterfeit copying counterfeit copies and Insider Knowledge. You go like yeah, and you just and you kill them on like turn 4. It's so funny.
I love stuff like that. Mill decks are like my favorite. That's awesome.
So that's probably the best deck in the format.
Okay, riddle me this though. What do you think of this as a format?
I mean, it's busted.
It can't be a competitive format, right?
Like it can't be a competitive format. No. Oh, one more thing before I move on it. The official Runeterra account tweeted out, "Hey, free builds up. I challenge you to win the gauntlet only using spells." And I tried for like 5 hours, dude.
Only using spells.
And I could not. Only spells.
Damn. Well, no champs.
So I tried to get 6 wins only using spells. No champs, no landmarks.
Yeah.
I tried Puff Caps, where I played like Mushroom Cloud, Entrapment, Insider Knowledge, Counterfeit Copies. Like I tried Pesky Spectre combo. I tried Lost Riches Turbo Deep, where you play like 3 Lost Riches, the one where it puts 2 what are they called? Treasures? Yeah, treasures in your deck, and then you jettison them.
Oh yeah.
To try to like get people with like the Wyvern egg or whatever.
Could do it.
I tried everything, man. Not good enough.
Yeah. One day. Maybe we'll get them one day. Okay. So let's go to Eternal real quick before we get to Eternal.
Okay.
Riot, I know you guys watch this because I've stepped into some things during our calls, and you knew things I didn't think you would know. But I got to say, how cool would it have been if this format was in the last week after the Worlds qualifier when there was kind of nothing to do for a whole week. These dead weeks kill me inside. I really wish that we had this awesome fun format in that week. We could all go crazy, have a bunch of fun, and then boom, patch drops, Eternal's here. I want to be playing best of 3 Eternal so I can practice for the 3 massive tournaments that are coming up. That would be great. I would love that. I think these fun formats should be at the end. I feel like there's like some disjointedness. Because like when you have this for
like you start with
you have this for a week, and then there's only 1 week like to play like best of 3 and stuff. It's weird.
I would have liked to not actually have Eternal live because we had no balance patch, and like it would have just been old standard or old whatever. What I would have liked to see is free build live on that week, and then
week?
patch new format.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you said Eternal.
No. I wanted the free build after the Worlds qualifier.
Okay,
that last.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, these dead weeks, as I call them, where the major tournaments happened, and there's not really a lot to do before the next patch. Either just move the major tournament back so it's the last weekend before the new cards come out, just like you eventually did with seasonals, which was so freaking awesome. It was so nice. Or at least have a really cool, awesome, crazy format like this one, something fun and entertaining in that space. So it's not just like a big, just going to wait. Because this is not that hard. It's some basic scheduling. Like I'm pretty sure everyone would agree this is just better. Okay, rant over. Now, Eternal. Yay. Super, super happy with Eternal. The last standard was, wasn't my favorite. Wasn't my least favorite either, but definitely not my favorite. It was okay. It was fine. But this Eternal format so far has been great. So I asked Majin before we started recording if he played Eternal. He's like, no, because it didn't start until midnight, which, nope. Apparently, when it said 12 o'clock, that was Universal Time. So at 5 p.m. Pacific, it just it went live. Despite myself and a bunch of other people sitting there from 11 a.m. being like, nah, it's just wrong, right? It's just wrong. Come on. So again, please, slightly better communication on these things would be nice. Anyways, okay, rant over. I played Eternal basically all evening. I played mostly Annie Jin and what's that one? Poppy Targon guy. Damn, that's the one. Love me some free rallies, let me tell you. I just
gross. Oh, that's right, because Aegis.
Yeah, Aegis is back. I just realized that the other one doesn't target, so you can't loop it. The original rally, what's it called again? Relentless Assault. Yeah.
Assault.
Anyways, so I was just trying to. Everyone starts back at Iron 4, which I didn't even know was a rank.
Like a rank.
Yeah. So it's great. It's great. Just everyone's in there. People are, that you normally wouldn't.
This is like the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah. Just a mass reset. It's great. I think it's great. I wanted to race up and try to be the first one to Masters. So I was sitting there at 11 a.m. like, let's go. Anytime now.
Yeah.
Let's do this. It was like 12 o'clock came around. I'm like, maybe AM meant PM. So like maybe they just made an oopsie there. So come on, noon, 12:01. Nothing.
Nope.
So eventually at 5 o'clock it came on, and I was like, all right, well, I played a bunch, got to like gold or whatever, and then had to go to bed, and then I had a bunch of work this morning. I was going to be plat. I've been playing on my phone while I do work because it's the only way I can actually function. And I was about to be plat, and then I fat fingered while I was taking out the trash. Still kind of mad about that one. But anyways, Annie Jin's good, but it's probably not the best. But it's good for ladder climbing. It's fast. It's solid. There's a lot of good aggro decks. I actually just posted an article just before this podcast to try and get it out really quickly that lists out the top 10 most winning decks from the first day or so. Do you want to take some? Take some guesses? Any guesses? What's on there? Have you looked?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Annie Jin.
It is, but it's way down there. It's like 7th, I believe. It is also the most played deck currently, so which that kind of like brings stats.
It's
down.
the most Annie Jin's
I
most played
believe
deck.
so. Let's go. going to cheat here for a second. Go to the Eternal Meta page on Mastering Runeterra. And yes, Anijin is the most played deck, followed by Draven Scion, and then Set Trundle, and then Azir Zereth, and Azir Aurelia. Look at all these decks. Azir Aurelia, Azir Zereth even. Rise is the 6th most played deck. Poppy Zoe is number 7. I haven't even seen that yet. Draven Jinx is number 8. Good old discard aggro. I haven't even seen most of these decks. I played like, I don't know, 50 games or something. I haven't like seen a lot of these. That's like,
oh, that's right. They get Lost Soul back. That's
oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna guess there's a Poppy deck in the top 10. At least one, probably 2.
I would have thought a lot better. Actually, you are incorrect. There was a Poppy at 11, really? And now it's dropped all the way to 13, which is the one I was talking about, Poppy Tarek. 61% win rate, though.
Oh, that's high. There must be a lot of Noxus decks.
It's
then.
very.
Are there like a couple Sentry Flock
very
decks
wide. Okay, I'll just give it to you. The top one is Draven Scion Vi.
Yeah.
Goody. And then Elise Samira, Spiders.
Just aggro.
Yeah. Lulu Shen, number 3. Annie Katarina, number 4. And number 5, sort of. There's a Nora version.
It's like a Broadman deck.
Yeah, the classic.
Like Sentry Flock
yeah,
Vandal.
the classic. Kill everything. Make some teddy bears. Annie Jin is number 6. Ezreal Samira Seraphine, let's go. Number 7. Heimer Nora, Draven, Scion. Well, I guess we did that already. Orange Trundle somehow comes in at number 10 with a 62% win rate. And then Mono Renekton, also 62% win rate.
Wow, all right. Yep, Croc.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting.
So
this is going to change so much in the next
3 days. The format's so wide right now. I think a lot of things will start dropping off for sure. But from what I've noticed is the power level is kind of like flat. Like it feels good. It doesn't feel like anything is. Yeah, I mean, there's. I think because aggro is back. Like I mentioned, a lot of the decks I just mentioned were aggro decks. It feels like we have a proper like rock paper scissors, like a proper meta. Whereas like aggro's been kind of just like dead for seemingly months and months, right? It just hasn't really been around, and so we've had this like control mid range kind of constant battle thing going on with like down at Demacia in there a little bit.
But aggro was like all the smear decks.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I don't know, things that are like fizz.
It's not burn aggro. It's
things that are like fizz TF or whatever. Like I don't know, and like Samira fizz. I don't know. I don't clump them in with the Annie Jins or the Spiders or because they're also just the best deck. They were just like a powerhouse thing. It was and like you didn't have an aggro sort of like lineup or multiple aggro decks. There was just like that one thing that was really good that did Burble stuff or like Samira stuff or Monkey stuff. Like you say, it's not burn deck. But I think that
do you consider the Tristana stuff to be like mid rangey then?
I mean that's Swarm, I guess.
Yeah,
it definitely kills a little bit later. The Tristana decks definitely like I attacked for like 12 or 13 on like turn 3 with like Annie Jin today. I was like, this is a lot of damage.
Yeah,
I think that's right. I don't know. Don't at me. And so because of that, it really seems like I guess 4. There's like 4 pillars maybe now, right? Where you have like hard control, like hard aggro, mid range, and then the kind of like weird in between, so maybe Demacia stuff. I don't know if that's just mid range stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like there's much more of a real meta, and so far, man, it's been fun. The format has been so much fun. Seeing a lot of these decks come back has been so nice.
You're like, I remember that.
People are playing freaking Thresh, Nasus Thresh, like Poppy Zed.
Oh, damn.
Freaking, I mean, Draven Jinx, Poppy Tarek, of course. Like, Mono Renekton is hilarious. Even just seeing, like, Draven Scion Vi, which is, like, not one of my favorite decks. I normally just play against it and lose often because the deck's really good. Seeing it back, though, is just, like, it's nostalgic. It's, like, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Format's great so far. Like, this is, I think, what Runeterra really needed. Having these 2 formats, everyone was up in arms and kind of like going crazy when rotation happened. I'm glad the Eternal's finally here, and I feel like this is going to go a long way to kind of like soothing everything over. And please, God, again, Riot, please let us keep Eternal.
Yeah, it would be nice. I think having the first one be only Eternal Ladder or whatever would be like, or maybe the first time they're like, okay, maybe we're supposed to not have Eternal all the time, but I think they're waiting to see.
I really hope
the play rates and queue times.
I really hope that both just end up being fine, and they see that, like you say, the wait times are okay, that they end up keeping it. I think there's a decent chance that happens. I think the only reason they wouldn't is if the queue times were really out of hand, and like, I don't know, I haven't seen anything. I've even played a couple standard games just to check it out. I was curious, and yeah, I got games immediately at like midnight.
Nice.
But again, getting a patch, so I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of people that play Runeterra. We think we like to be like, oh, it's this little game, it's this little tiny game. Something apparently like 500,000 people played Path over the weekend when they had that like big thing. There's a lot of people that play the game. What are you excited for in Eternal?
I don't even know yet. Like, I just pulled up the tier list or whatever. The only deck I see that I'm like, oh yeah, that's for me, is like the deck where the only units are the Samira, Seraphine, Ezreal, and 3 copies of Quasiri. I'm like, hell yeah, hell yeah. But everything else is like, obviously new format, everything slants aggressive, right? That's just how it works. So the decks that I properly enjoy will come out likely in the next like few days to a week.
Yeah, I'm so glad. What did you think of the patch notes and the buff? I love that they see the vision of Eternal, of being like, we want this to be separate from standard, not like standard plus, where you just have the same decks with a few more cards in it. No, it's like you get to do busted, wild stuff. Like we always talk about in Magic, like this is a thing. People play like only Eternal. They're the more popular formats. Like Magic just had to make changes to their standard format because it just wasn't popular enough. No one was playing it. Nobody liked it because everyone was playing the Eternal format, so it was better. And
high-powered stuff's fun. Like it's fun to do cool things. And
I was talking in the Discord to someone about this. Like I hope one of the things they do instead of like nerfing things back down when the meta settles, we figure out what's best. I want them to just buff other shit. Like, oh hey, this deck's a problem. How about Lee Sin is 4 mana now, and Tribeam is 3 mana, and like some more, just like buff all this shit. Just keep making it fucking crazier.
I want Lee Sin just reverted is fine with me, but I want Tribeam to be 3 to 4 mana.
You could definitely put it at 4. You could put it at 4 easy.
Yeah, you could put it at 4 today.
It probably wouldn't even see a lot.
Probably not even great.
No. I would love to see it at 3 though, just for the shits and giggles. Try that out, Riot. Okay, you're welcome. That's a gift for you.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, but that's what you want from this format, right? Like that. With the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm excited to get into it. That'll be today, Thursday. I don't know when this is going live, but yeah.
Probably tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Anyone listening, if you want to climb the ladder fast, definitely aggro decks the way to go. Draven, Zion, Vi, can't argue with those stats. I've played against it. The reason the deck is so good is it kind of does a little bit of everything well. So it's kind of a tough matchup for any Jhin because it's able to just put out units kind of at the same paces that you do that are like even bigger and more powerful and like have fearsome and shit. And you have removal and stuff. So it's like it could be a tough matchup for the aggro decks, and then also for anything that's like trying to play fair, mid game, late game. It does all kinds of big busted things with like huge overwhelming Vi's, and like Draven is pumped up again now. I love seeing Draven back. Draven's like easily one of my favorite champions.
Draven rocks.
Draven's just so fucking cool. Voice lines are insane. The axes, like his whole shtick is just so good. Just a good card too,
Yeah, I love Draven. I'm happy to see him back.
So definitely start there.
I just realized that the Annie Katarina Broadmain deck is a Tibulk deck, but you get to play 3 copies of Condense. So you get to play 1 man at Tibulks. So I know what I'm going to do today.
Well, I mean, they're 1 mana.
They're 1 mana. They're 1 mana on 1/1. So you just play 1
Somebody did it on a Rex. And the Rex to be back to back I survived the first Rex. I was like, ha, sucker, got you. And they were like, one more time. And I was like, nope, that's enough. That will do.
That's so funny. I'm copying that deck code right now.
Oh my god, yeah, Condense on Tibble. That's a good time.
I can't wait for some
of these decks, you just look at them, you know they're fun, right? Like I haven't even played any of these. You're like, this is
yes.
good. And speaking of
even Scion.
Yeah.
I don't even like Scion, but I saw it and it runs like 3 copies of the new card that I shat all over, Blowback. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess in a Scion deck it's actually pretty good. You don't want it in like Draven Jinx, but like
Blowback has been very good. Yeah, I've gotten blown out by Blowback quite a few times so far. And I wanted to touch on that also. The new cards that we got from this expansion. Not only were the nerfs and the buffs awesome, but like the new cards were really cool.
I was not a fan of most of them. I thought I thought the Bandle one that's going to let me copy Tibalt Condense, I thought that one was pretty cool. But the Ionia, I was sad because the main Ionia card, the bird, not the main one, but the Ionia card is a Demacia card. And then the other one is like bad. So
yeah, I mean they weren't all winners. One thing I would like to see, which I really think they need to be doing, is just releasing more cards. I don't know if this is a developer issue, you know? Like I don't know, but like the sets are like what, 70 cards normally or 80, something around there?
I think it's probably like 70 cards. 70 cards every 3 months.
Yeah, like that's just not enough in my opinion.
12 on a variety, 10 to 12 on a variety. 12,
yeah. And then a lot of them are just like kind of poops, right? A lot of them just never see the light of day. So when you only have like, you know, let's say this variety set, like what, there's maybe 3, 4 that are gonna like see some play, something like that.
3 probably.
Yeah. And then from a major set, it's something like, I don't know, we'll say 20. I throw out 20 cards. Just as a
40.
That you see that you think that see play? Yeah, maybe it's more than 20. 30, 40. Okay, whatever.
I think 20 is low.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. 30, let's say 30 to 40 that'll see some play. It depends also which format we're talking about. In Standard, now that Standard is rotated, or now that Standard is a format, more of them should be seeing play because the format is a little bit weaker and stuff. But like Runeterra has that problem where it has, you know, archetypes. We're like, oh, hey, maybe this card is totally busted, but like there's just no home for it currently.
Where are you gonna play?
Yeah. And so I think because there's 10 regions instead of like 5 colors like in Magic, like you just need more cards, like just a lot more cards. And the game is just always a lot better and more fun to play when there's new cards. Like that's when new shit happens. Like seeing this 2-mana burst copy of thing. It's like that's gonna be all kinds of fun for a while. So like I don't know, like imagine we just got like every like 2 months we had like 80 new cards or whatever. That would be like, oh, like that's like magical Christmas time, don't you think? Like you just by the time
that's a lot.
I mean, Magic does like 100, like almost 200 cards every like couple of months.
Most of them are dog shit. Most of them are for limited, right? 100 of them are not ever supposed to be played.
Yeah, for sure.
And they make $1 bajillion.
Also that. But they have to do things like print all these cards and like they have to balance them a lot more. Like,
sure.
So I mean, everything has to be coded.
Yeah, not saying I don't want more cards. I love new cards.
Yeah, stop. I hate when people are like, "Oh, but what about the money and stuff?" I'm like, "Shut up! Why don't you shut up with your freaking the $1 billion company can't afford it." Like, what are you talking about? What are you actually talking about? We want them to make an awesome product that we would be happy to be like, take our money, please. That's how the relationship works. Tell them how to siphon money from us in a meaningful way, not in a greedy Magic way. Ooh, full art cards. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, more cards. I feel like I would just love more cards or more frequency, something, more cards that make more of a splash, something. Be interesting when limited rolls around. Maybe I'll feel differently. I don't know. Also, fingers crossed for limited. Okay, so yeah, Eternal right now. There's lots of great decks. Go check out the meta tier list if you want some examples of some stuff. But like at least Samira, the Spiders deck, and Annie Jin, both decks are just very fast. Will help you climb. If you like Burning Face, go for it. Lu Shen, another fantastic fast deck. If you like spells, you got Ezreal, Samira, you got Heimerdinger, Nora, Annie Kate. There's something for everyone. It's really, really great time. I don't see Demacia decks, so that makes me happy.
Poppy.
Yeah, but not like the shitty Demacia, you know? I like the Poppy and the Lulu decks. Those are cool. Okay. Those are cool. That's how Demacia was meant to be played, okay?
They'll come. Don't worry. They'll come.
No.
They'll be here.
Let them die. Freaking Demacia players. Okay, let's see. I know we got to start wrapping it up here, but one of the things I have this on my to-do list, so I read an article about, because we were sort of on this topic of like, you know, them making money or whatever. Also, I forgot I haven't played any, what are they called? The Daily Rumbles. I haven't played any yet, but like you can play as many as you want now, right? They're all just open?
Yeah, I played like 80 free build. So in order to make my YouTube video for free build, because I want to show off like 3 decks, is I would jump into a free build gauntlet, play the first game, and then quit. Then play another one. I would rebuy in to play a different deck so I could get the recording for YouTube, which was very nice. I'm glad that they did it.
Yeah, they're very tentative, hey, about like having things, I don't know, not be popular enough, I guess, or not like, you know, queue times. It seems like I could see how maybe, so like we're on the America shard, which is obviously the shard with the most players. I could see how maybe like the Asia Pacific shard, maybe even the Europe shard, these things might be like a real issue, and doing things differently on different shards doesn't make a lot of sense. So it could be that a lot of these things are maybe geared towards the shards with less players. I wonder if that, because that's got to factor in for sure. Because these things like, hey, I want to play Gauntlet. I want to play as many as I want. Why would you not just take my money, please?
It does let you free roll your way to Prime Glories, which I don't know if we care about.
Yeah, that needs to get reworked.
But that's a thing,
in my opinion. Or does it? I don't.
They kind of headed it off a little bit by being like, okay, yeah, so you can play as many times as you want, but we're not giving you any trophies for 0 wins. So you can't just like buy quit.
Everyone can get there now, though, like very, very easily.
Yes,
which I'm okay with.
If you weren't
pretty
already
okay with, I'd like to see where it bumps things to. You know, with the buys, like if 9-1 people start not making day 2, that could be a problem. One of the things I really want, though, is more reasons to play them after I have the 2 buys. Because right now, I don't care. I like, it's just for practice, for testing. And I've noticed also the competitiveness as people, as you can play whenever you want, and people are already getting the buys, the competitiveness of them has gone down significantly. At the beginning, people were tryharding really, really hard.
Tryharding so, because
you needed those Prime Glories, and it was very good testing, and I liked it a lot. And now I queue up against someone with like 3 joke decks, and I lose to them still, and I'm like, maybe I should stop thinking I'm hot shit. But I don't know. It doesn't like I'll never play against these decks or almost never. I definitely need to change. I'm going on a tirade. I need to change my outlook on being like, oh, they're playing like 3 like brews or whatever. Like this isn't useful or this isn't helpful, when that's not true at all. Everything is useful. Everything is helpful. Everyone has some bit of information for you to learn from. And so that's definitely like one thing, I don't know, myself, that I need to change. And I assume someone listening to this could probably use that advice as well. But yes, I would like things to grind towards. I play Fortnite with the kids, and they got the Battle Pass, and they have these like, they just have so many little things that you can like quests and stuff to do to get different skins, which are awesome. And Runeterra really needs that. I want to be able to grind. Give me reasons to play your game. Give me reasons to give you my money, and fun and exciting ways.
I still think that if they did the like, not even quite like Gwent, not even to that extreme, but if they did the like, speaking of giving ways to pay the money, if they did like full art, it's shiny, does the little effect that like maybe Magic has where it does the thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like a parallax effect, I think is what it's called. Or it like it just moves a little bit. Like you have Mystic Shop and
Magic
it's
has
up
that
and
now.
it's like 3D. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so if Runeterra had that and they did it for like spells, I don't know. I'd pay so much money. I would just be like,
yeah, 100%. I agree. They should have that. That's a little bit different. That's a whole like, I don't know how that technically, if that's
completely
an issue,
different.
But
I bring it up.
It would be cool.
I bring it up
cool,
all
and
the
there's no
time.
reason they shouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
But I think what they can do right now, really easy, at the end of what is it called, by the way? The thing that gets you the gauntlets. What is that called? That progression bar thingy. On there, have like a pet or avatar of some sort that you could only get by grinding that, and at the end have like a super cool version of it, because they do that, right? Yeah, they do the skin version. So do one that you can get that's like a little bit easier, and then one like all the way at the end that's super like colorful and unique, and like that's the only way you can get it is grinding up there. Boom, done. I will grind towards that. Make it really cool. Also, like, let's be real, don't just like reskin something. Like, make a new cool thing, because I mean it's a whole season, right? It's every 3 months. You can give us one cool avatar every 3 months, and we will all happily just play your game until blood comes out of our eyes because we can't stop looking at the goddamn screen. Okay, that's all I want. All right, it's not much. I'm a simple man, simple pleasures. Should probably wrap this up now.
I just want to condense Tibble, so that's what I'm going to
do. So that's what I'm going to go do right about now. Okay, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back again next week. Aikado was supposed to be here. Flame him if you see him. He slept in. He was overdoing Drizoth and Baj and Mo's podcast yesterday. Slept in today. It's almost noon. Checking Discord. Hasn't even messaged us yet. I hope he's okay, actually, at this point. Probably up just late as hell playing Eternal, I bet. We go look at his Twitch. But give him hell on Twitter, in his chat, in Discord. Anywhere you see him, actually, just annoy the crap out of him. He'll probably be here next week if he can wake up in time. Okay, guys. That's it for us. We'll see you next week. Peace. Okay, I'm not showing up on time?
When you, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
It's not like I didn't set this a week ago and then send out a reminder yesterday. And then also 40 minutes ago when he's obviously sleeping because he was up late doing Mo's podcast, which I have not watched because, and I don't know why I keep calling it Mo's podcast, but he's the one that I remember, but Drizoth and Baj and Mo. And I saw a special guest Aikado, and I was like, you two-timing son of a bitch.
That motherfucker.
You fucking know you have our podcast tomorrow. Remember this. Yeah, I was finally going to let him into the LPP. I was going to be like, you know what, Riot? He's paid his dues. You can get in now. But nope. After this, no. Blackballed for another year, baby. Blackball. Okay, guys. So we're just going to bring in some more LPP members here. Let's see. Top of the list here, guy that streams the most and is, top 5 streamers in the world. Should we get him in? Like just the largest streamer outside of like anyone that's not already in the program, or we could just get there's this guy that just started streaming 2 weeks ago in Argentina. No one's ever heard of him though, but he seems really nice. Yeah, everyone's for that guy. Everyone's 2 average
streamers, two average viewers, and
peaked at 3.
He always has copyrighted music on, but I'm sure he'll stop doing that. I tried out a new game last week.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Grand Archive. So you saw me tweet at them?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like a desperate Hail Mary because I was trying to get into this event, which is their first ever premiere event. It's like a Grand Prix. And the card, okay, so there's like you pick one of 3 elements and you start as that element, and that is like the base cards that you can get, like a region or a color, right? But imagine it's like a land. Like in Magic, if you pick black, you would get a black land, but you only get one, and it's you. And that's how you start the game, is you put a swamp into play, right? So imagine that.
Okay, I'm imagining
just
it.
Pretend. Just
wasn't
pretend.
hard.
Just pretend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The top 8 of this event is a swamp, but it's all foily. It's signed by the artist. It says your place in the event on it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It's
I love
just
that.
A big titty anime girl.
Oh man, that took a hard left.
It's gonna sign for $1 billion. I mean, it's gonna sell for $1 billion. Because you can play it at anything, and it's like your hero. And right now, you're just a swamp. But instead of just a basic swamp, you could be a big titty anime swamp.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's quite the upgrade.
It opened at 6, and I got on at like 6:18, and it was already sold out. So I was like, God fucking damn it. Because I was talking to some other people who wanted to go. A couple of locals are going, and then a couple of my like Flesh and Blood guys are going. So I was like, shit. So I was sitting there, and one of the Flesh and Blood guys who's super, super, super into it, we were like, he was showing me a game on Tabletop Simulator with it, and just kind of like walking me through what the decks do and everything. And he's like, dude, that sucks you didn't get in. I was like, I know. And he's like, why don't you tweet at him? Use your Twitter clout. And I was like, that won't work. And he's like, yeah, it won't work, but we should try it. And so I tweeted at them, and 5 minutes later, they were like, hey, we saved a couple spots for people like you. Here's a ticket. And it was just paid for. It was like, yeah, it was like all the bells and whistles ticket. And it was like, there you go.
I'm curious, how much does your father know what a whore you are now?
I'm assuming he suspects.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't really realize it until just now.
Yeah.